it's Nicole and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to do a quick repotting to this Neophanetia falcata crossed with the Ascofinetia lion star. I'm going to be using a different medium this time. This orchid has Ascocentrum in it, and I've tried to transition my Ascofinetia cherry blossom into semi-hydroponics, and the roots just failed. They grew into the media and just died off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in an organic setup. Let me show you what I'm going to be putting it in. So I've mixed some coconut husk here. Coconut husk is very economical. I bought a brick for about $3 and change. I soaked it and I added some CalMag into it so that I can leach out any excess salts. This is a more moisture retentive media. As you can see, the husk, when you squeeze it out, it holds moisture well. However, it doesn't break down as quickly as, say, sphagnum moss. So what I did was I cleaned this out really well by soaking it. I soaked it about 3 times, and then I left one soak with the CalMag overnight, then rinsed it once more. And then what I did was I added some charcoal pieces to the mix. I'll link these, what I used down below, so you could check it out if you'd like. But anyway, I'm going to use this mix instead of semi-hydro, just given that that orchid has Ascocentrum in it, and I'm just a little bit nervous to put that orchid in semi-hydro. And then we're going to put it in a clay pot, so we're going to make sure that orchid gets wet-dry cycles. And what we'll do is we'll get the old medium off, and then we'll get back to repotting it. Alrighty guys, so I've taken as much out as I could. I just threw it out in the over the garbage. I don't have any I didn't soak it or anything yet, just wanted to see what came off. And let's see, this is sort of stuck on here. Let me see if I could remove that. Yep. We've got pieces of bark and charcoal, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to rinse this out and try to get the foam pieces off, being really careful with these roots. Alright, we've rinsed this off. We've got some roots that grew through the foam pieces, but thankfully we could break the foam pieces off and leave the root intact, which is good. And we won't worry if any of that is left behind because it is inert, so it will not break down. So I got the cocoa husk recommendation from Michael McCarthy, and one of the benefits to coconut husk is you don't have to repot as often. So it doesn't break down as quickly as sphagnum moss, and it's a little bit moisture retentive, so it's sort of like between bark and working with sphagnum moss. Won't break down, won't acidify as much, and then the other thing is that it won't, when you're flushing it, it won't hold on to as many, as much gunk as sphagnum moss. Sometimes with sphagnum moss, you reach the point of no return, and you really have to repot because it's just becomes really hard to flush. Well, this isn't too bad. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the rest of the little pieces of bark, and then I'm going to trim these roots. I'll be right back. Alrighty, let's get rid of the roots that are a little bit questionable. When in doubt, I'll just cut under where I see where it's healthy, so we may leave a little bit of dry root there, but that's okay. I'd rather be more conservative these days and make sure that this orchid is set up for success. So this one is sort of hollow here, but it firms up, so I'm going to cut it. It starts firming up right around here, so I'm going to cut it right there. I will fast forward so that we can get to the repotting already. Alright guys, I think this looks good. I'm going to rinse it out once more, and then we'll get ready to put it in our clay pot. Alrighty guys, we have our husk here and we've got our clay pot here. I'm going to start with a layer of some of that medium in on the bottom, and then we're going to put this orchid in here. Let me try to get the roots in nice and carefully. This will dry pretty quickly, which is good. So my thinking here is that we have a very moisture retentive medium, plus we have the clay pot that has the quick drying action. So as I mentioned, this has Ascocentrum in it, and I don't want it to rot the roots out. So this one I believe will prefer to dry out, which is why I'm not doing this in a semi-hydroponic setup. I like to adjust when I start noticing things with some of the orchids that don't like the setup, and I try not to force the grow method, just because if it's not liking it, if I didn't have success getting roots to grow in the system, I don't think it'll just do well for the long-term vigor of the plant. So I'm going to finish this off by adding some more pieces of charcoal in there. This is going to be somewhat moisture retentive yet pretty airy mix with the charcoal in there and everything. And I'm going to fill this in just a bit more. And then we are almost done. So I'm just going to tuck everything in carefully, and I'll be right back. Alrighty guys, we are all set. So I've repotted these guys into the coconut husk along with some charcoal. I've got them in clay pots. And again, I'm doing this because I know that the Ascofinetia type orchids don't like to be in a semi-hydroponic setup. Otherwise, I wish I could put these in Leca, but I don't want to take the risk of setting them back and killing their root systems. So my thinking here is the husk is very moisture retentive. The charcoal will add some aeration into the mix, and then the clay pot will promote pretty quick drying. So I'm thinking I can water these just like I water the rest of my organic orchids. I'll put a little drip tray on the bottom, and I'll be sure to flush these on a regular basis. So I'll keep you guys updated on how they are doing, and I like the look. So I got this pot. This is a 5-inch clay pot. I got it at Lowe's. And I think what I'll be doing is, you guys know that most of my orchids are in white pots, but I have my catasetums in terracotta. So I'm just going to group them together so that they look a little bit nicer on the shelves, and I'll have a little section for terracotta, and then I'll keep my white pots together. And I think that way it looks a little bit nicer and a little bit more presentable. Anyway guys, I'll keep you updated on how this does. If this mix works out, I'll let you know. If I have any issues, I'll also provide an update. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content like this. Bye everyone!